everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Collection Comic of the Week. The book I have chosen this week is Incredible Hulk Annual 2000. I remember getting this book from a local Kroger's grocery store. Just wanted to pick up a comic book, didn't have the best selection, but didn't have a lot of the ones they did have, with the exception of this one, ended up having no conclusion. So I'm like, well, I'd like the Hulk, and I had a couple old Hulk books from the, kind of getting jump started with the books that my grandpa had brought home when he used to work at the printing press, and that were survived and were given to me. I had a couple Hulk books there, but no real modern Hulk books. I'm like, what the heck? Other than that, most of my exposure to the Hulk had come from the Lou Ferrigno, Bill Bixby series. They used to have it on the Sci-Fi Channel. I watched it every day during the summer, and it would sometimes be on after school, and sometimes I'd check it out instead of Nickelodeon or Kids WB or what have you. So that was kind of the most of my exposure to the Hulk. So other than a couple of those older Hulk books, this was kind of my first take on a more modern Hulk approach with a little bit more newer tropes, and I want to say more layered storytelling, because Stan and Jack did a good job kind of trying to really establish the sort of Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing with Bruce, Banner, and then the Hulk. But this is kind of one where I guess updated. Kind of like how Batman got updated, the Hulk got updated and got a little bit more deeper and darker, as modern times came. And, this was, I picked it up because it had a conclusion. I knew about the Hulk, and it was kind of my first exposure to the Hulk through a modern lens, and kind of, I don't want to say it ruined the Hulk for me, but it's kind of, ever since I've read this book, every time I've gone back to the Hulk, it's been kind of a very, very similar story without any new paint, I feel, put on it. A lot of comic book characters keep the same story, but there's new layers, there's new additions, there's new things added that keep it more fresh, like Spider-Man, like Batman, like Superman. I think this is actually up there with Superman in kind of a very, very difficult character to write, and it's really hard to kind of explore new places with this character. I think this book was good. I think there's good Hulk books out there. It's just, Hulk's hard for me to get into because a lot of it feels the same. But that being said, when somebody really gets a hell of a book about the Hulk out there, it's damn fine. But this is kind of my first modern Hulk book, kind of shaped how I feel about the Hulk, and well, let's check it out. Just taking a look at the cover here. That's a pretty badass looking cover there, but just see Miss Marvel, Iron Man, just really, really well done. Just kind of how everything's kind of lurking in the background on it. Open it up, and then it folds out for a Buzz Lightyear Star Command advertisement, and then Juicy Fruit always used to have these weird advertisements in comic books. Just these were kind of like a staple of the early 2000s comic books. These kind of advertisements, but come here, take a look. You can get full credits right there. But a lot of inner monologue stuff. Like most Hulk books, this is kind of something, as I kind of mentioned earlier, the Hulk is a very hard character to write. I think even harder than Superman, the Hulk is hard to write because of just, how many different directions can you go with the Hulk? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's a good character, but to make the character feel fresh is hard. And you either risk completely changing the character and kind of alienating the fan base. through Cheez-Its, we all missed out on being drawn into a Spider-Man comic, so damn the luck there. But, like, everything... Every story is kind of... I want to say it's the same, but it's always, like, some sort of inner turmoil sort of story, but then, you know, very few writers have really, like, gone in a direction where, like, oh, this is new and fresh, you know, compared to where it was in the past. Like, they did a good job with it with Planet Hulk, and, you know, in the case of this one, X-Men trading card game, and Mario Tennis, but, you know, with this, it's kind of, where they're trying, his friends, the other Avengers, they're trying to bring the Hulk back into the fold. They're trying to, I guess, more restore the humanity and give the companionship back to the Hulk. You can see some stuff there's She-Hulk, and they even mention here they're trying to, the Hulk was taken to court, but the judge was corrupt and didn't give a shit. And, you know, they're trying to bring Bruce back, and very interesting here, a sneak peek of Ultimate Spider-Man, and we kind of talked earlier on the Collection Comic of the Week with the Ultimate Marvel Team-Ups about the Ultimate Universe, but Ultimate Spider-Man really kind of became the crown jewel of that entire, of just all of that, and it's just kind of funny, like, this is a sneak peek at that with everything that this book would become with, you know, kind of being able to redo Spider-Man, in a modern lens, but still keep the old canon, but then also, like, this became the, Ultimate Spider-Man became the genesis for Miles Morales, which is now, like, becoming so iconic, so, I don't know, it just kind of, this was honestly, when I went back and reread this book, seeing this as a sneak peek was the coolest part of everything to me, because it's like, here's the early incarnation of the Ultimate Universe, which is now really, at least with Miles, shaping up to, you know, really change the landscape of how people look at Spider-Man. But back to Hulk. Got some more, you know, police checking the radar and seeing 473 miles per hour. So another shot of you know, globe-trotting Hulk there. Big guns are coming in to try and subdue him. There's Iron Man. Nice shot of Iron Man there. And you got Danger Girl, the PlayStation game. Never played that. If anyone's played Danger Girl, let me know if it's a good game. Another badass page there. Piece of art with the Hulk. Yeah, I'm going to need backup. It's more like it goes from being badass, but like they get kind of like these weird faces, which, like, they're not bad, but it's just kind of like they sometimes, at least for me, they've kind of taken me off guard when I've been reading this book. And standing off, but She-Hulk is trying to talk some sense and trying to talk Hulk down. And get a little bit of a fight. You know, there's going to be Iron Man, Hulk around. You got to have them face off somehow. That's where the money is. A pre-Captain Marvel Carol Danvers there. This is kind of a cool page and a cool moment with, you know, the inner turmoil being played out. Like, I enjoyed seeing this, and it gave me some perspective on the Hulk when I bought this book. But on the flip side of things, it seems like it's always gone to on every subsequent Hulk book I've read, which kind of, I don't want to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just not great. And turns back into Banner, sees She-Hulk, thanks Betty, his old girlfriend, but turns back into Hulk because it's not Betty. Again, kind of kicking the rest of the Avengers' ass right there. again, She-Hulk trying to talk sense into him, even kind of trying to pretend to be Betty to bring him back from the outside, which that's kind of a low move if you really think about it. But she's kind of talking to him how Betty used to talk to Bruce, and then at the very end of it, She-Hulk does not, he tries to get with She-Hulk, but not my type, and She-Hulk does not want Hulk, and always Hulk wants to be alone. And it's kind of a tragedy, and it's really kind of, mentioned bought this book on the basis that it had a conclusion, but this is kind of the first time, or one of the first times where I'm like, very unsettling for a 10, 11-year-old kid still. Very unsettling conclusion. Very, very sad. And I'm just, while I was in the sense of time that not everything's going to be happily ever after, I kind of didn't expect just complete tragedy and melancholy. And didn't really know how to feel after seeing, like, yes, there's the end, there's the conclusion, but not necessarily the conclusion I wanted, and there's a Twist and Phil Twizzlers, and Got Milk, and that was Incredible Hulk Annual from the year 2000. It's not a bad story, and it was a good read, and it was very deep, and it was something that exposed me to something new. And I might have been a little harsh earlier when I said it kind of ruined the Hulk, but I don't know. It's just kind of, it did kind of make the Hulk a lot harder for me to get into, but it was still a good story, great artwork. Really used the colors well to bring out the artwork, and it's a book I'm glad I picked up, and a book that I'm glad I've kept in my collection for all these years. And yeah, it's just a good update of the Hulk in my fandom. That's probably the best way I can put it. But do you also own that particular issue of The Incredible Hulk? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books, from the world of pro wrestling, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89, Twitter @athletic_geek89, Instagram @athleticgeek89. And if you'd like to help contribute to this channel financially, hit me up on Patreon, patreon.com/athleticgeek89. And that, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Later.